I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. My speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man wisdom, but in demonstration and spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. Your faith is in the power. What is the power of God? You first got to ask yourself, what is the power of God? The ultimate power of God is that he raised Jesus from the dead. And when you start to understand that he raised Jesus up out of that grave, this is why 1 Corinthians 15 says, if Jesus did not come up out of that grave, everything we do is vain. Our preaching is vain. Our faith is vain if Jesus didn't come up out of the grave. And he said, if you only have hope for Christ in this life, you are a man most miserable. And most Christians only got hope for Jesus in this life. It's every time you hear him talk, every time you hear him pray, it's about something in this life. Oh, I want a job. I want a car. I want a wife. I want a husband. Everybody's praying for these cardinal things when your hope was supposed to be in the power of God, and the power of God is much greater than a car or a house. The hope is when you take your last breath, that same spirit that raised Jesus up out of that grave, you got to know that that spirit is going to raise you up out of that grave, and you can spend eternity with God.